Divas, it's Ingrid here. I'm with the husband.
Hi,
this
everyone.
is Chris. He's one of our coaches at ingridana.com. So funny. We got the dogs, and we were just talking about how there's a big boom coming at the moment. There's a social boom because everyone is coming onto social media. I was going to do a rude joke there, and everyone's not doing it in the room. There's also that. There's a baby boom, and there's also a divorce boom happening right now. And we were thinking, I don't know why this is happening for me today, where it doesn't come up like live. Oh, it kind of is now. Okay. Oh, I'll just stay here. Hi. This is good lighting. I'll just stay where I look younger. Just kidding. Hey, Shiley, gorgeous. I've been thinking about you. I hope you're doing well. We're talking about the divorce boom. I'm making jokes. And the baby boom. And the social era boom. Hello. I love Shiley. Okay. I saw that thing about the bitch icon thing. Anyway, I got the same. Anyway, so we're thinking, how have we not gotten divorced yet? And I thought we were doing pretty well, considering, all these people that barely see each other, Chris was saying, are now having to stay together 24/7. But Chris and I, because we live together, we work together, we're married, we run a business together, we've been in this sort of state for 5 solid years.
And in isolation for 5 years.
Hey, babes. Babies and divorces coming. Oh my God, for sure. Yeah, we've been in isolation for years, right? Kind of really just very diligently working. And I think I was saying to Chris that I wanted to share today. I've got to share that. Oh, hi, Jerica. And it's the fear that there can be, there's so much. Hey, everyone. Hey, Michelle. I'm here with Chris. We've just been talking about divorces and babies and what's happening right now, that Chris and I have been kind of isolated together for years. Hey, Raquel. And when we first started, and I think that's what's happening a lot right now, people's egos are getting, hey, gorgeous, as I like being called Ingy. My daddy used to call me Ingy. Okay, so, there's a lot of oh my God, we do have an expiry date, ego and fear is coming up. I know a little bit about that topic. Cool. And so there's all this sort of fear around, how, what's going to happen right now, but even around the fact oh my God, we are vulnerable. Life is fragile. How do I want to spend it? People are getting triggered. And if we don't know how to process that emotion, and really we can go into blame and attack. And when Chris and I first started working together, he'd lost his job. That's a whole other story due to family drama. He left a very secure job to go to work with my family, and that didn't work out. It wasn't his fault. It was to do with my family. And we really had very little time to make things work. So we were sort of thrown into this fire almost. That's what it felt like to some degree. And there was a lot of fear around, would it work? And I was pushing and pushing, and it was originally my business, but then he came and it was a steep learning curve for him. And we had to really decide okay, well, how are we going to I wish I knew other things too. We should have really had more coaching and support, I think, during the journey, that we would get triggered, and that I think I could have processed some of my emotion better. Oh my God, these are the core feelings that are coming up, rather than making it about Chris or what he wasn't doing. Or I also did feel there were elements of a bit of resentment in the end, also around how hard I was working, because Chris comes from a very different background to me. And, it was already...
I've come from an employee background.
He's come from an employee background. That's a great way to put it. And I came from an my parents are entrepreneurs. I was always told not to be a princess. And, my parents were really pretty poor when we were growing up. They had a house, they had a factory under the house where they started making wax. Hey, Liz, for depilatory hair removal. My grandparents would pack boxes under the house for free. My mother was a beauty therapist. We had a beauty therapy place under our house as well. And then my dad literally dug under the house to create this factory. And that, really embedded this very deep, hard work ethic, and that no one was, my parents would always say to me, don't say sorry, Ingrid, just don't do it. They were lovely, quite strict and lovely and generous and strict and very hardworking. And, I think I learned really good qualities from them about follow through and diligence and getting it done.
And doing whatever it took.
And
really.
doing really whatever it took. Yeah, absolutely. And there's a lot of gold there. And then there's the polarity of being quite fear-based and pushing and working and never resting. I remember years ago I had this mass in my uterus and I had 3 surgeries. I almost lost my life. I got blood poisoning and I was on intravenous antibiotics. I had 3 surgeries, the whole thing. Anyway, I remember healing and resting, and my dad trying to get over, it was bad. I got blood poisoning. It was just terrible. I hemorrhaged during the operation. They cut me open. They wanted to take out my fallopian tubes. It was a mess. Anyway, I remember my dad coming into my room and saying, Ingrid, hey Sarah, hey Savriti, hey Pram, thank you. When are you going to start working again? When are you going to start working? When are you going to move? Go, 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 push, push, push. My mum's a lot better, but still to this day, and growing up, she would have weeks of almost being bedridden. Come home, my mum's quite successful these days, come home from overseas, iron her own clothes, do 10 loads of laundry, cook 3 meals, just constantly just going. And that's a polarity of what's not really healthy. But I've gotten to a level in my journey where there's no blame or shame. That's something that I also teach my daughter. Don't blame, don't shame. Take responsibility, take the gold and leave the rest, and rewire the rest and heal the rest so that you don't fall into the patterns of other people's kind of toxic habits, right? So the gold part of it was this very diligent kind of way of being, where I see sometimes people, they just give up too quickly. They think they got it all wrong. But entrepreneurship, it isn't easy. It doesn't mean that you can't start making money quickly. That's another thing. Don't go around in circles. Learn how to make money quickly. Why do you need to learn how to make money quickly? Because if you don't have a trust fund and a sugar daddy or a high income job to back you, or $1 million in savings, even $1 million, you'll go through that money quick. Pretty easy to spend money. I don't know if you're anything like me, but I do like to shop. But seriously, you just run through it, right? But I just want to invite you to think also about, I'm sort of going off on a tangent, I'll come back to relationship, but accumulation, a $500 sale, $1,000 sale. I've got a girl that's just in my 6-figure diva course today. She's very, very talented, just on that precipice of really making sales, really getting on video, really showing up. And I'm like, look, it doesn't matter if you're selling a 3K or 5K, or even this week, 15,000, sorry, not 15,000. That's my manifestation. 5 $1,500 spots. So 5 $1,500 spots this week. What is that? I can't even do the math. But it's about over $5,000. Now imagine if you did that every week. You've got to be creative. Just if you feel like you're going to get thrown off one week, I always turn up the volume. My spirit guides, my energy, it's turn up the volume. I go into full creation, and not from a place of fear, always from a place of service. How can you serve someone else this week? What can you put together? Be creative, right? When someone starts out sometimes at a lower price point, they will then invest in a higher price point, okay? So when I was first also starting out, I would say even things like, you could do a 2-week intensive with me, and then if you want to upgrade to the higher level, you can. When people trust you, there's a lot of fear initially when people come to work with you. Is she really the real deal? Am I really going to get the result? So if you're sort of more starting out, you can just start with like a 2 or 3 week intensive and then take them to the next level should they wish to go to that next level. It's great. Anyway, I digress. Chris is with me, you guys, if you're just tuning in. Anyway, we're going to go and chill. But honestly, hey, Jody, I think really at the end of the day, you know, I did a beautiful exercise with Chris when we're going through our healing work. And it's just sometimes sitting together. You sit on a chair, face to face, looking at each other on a chair. You can do it standing up. And each person puts their hand on the other person's heart. And you just say to each other, you know, you have to take a practice and basically take a turn, each of you. I couldn't get that one out. Hey, gorgeous. Hey, I don't know how to pronounce her new name, Rhiannon. Ayana, I think. I'll reach out to you and get the pronunciation. But you put a hand on each other's heart and you feed back to each other like one thing. So, you know, I love how you show up for me. You know, I love that you're such a good father. I love Ingrid. So you go back and forward and really start to have a deep level of gratitude. And you also have to like take responsibility and like really praise each other, because often when the fear comes up, we can go into fight, flight, attack mode, blame. Okay. So taking the time to really praise and appreciate, and also really taking responsibility for like, I am so scared right now. I'm not angry with you. I love you. I adore you, but I am so scared right now, or I'm so angry, or I feel like I've betrayed myself for years and I'm finally waking up to myself, and I'm sad also about all the years that I've lost. I'm angry, I'm sad. And, you know, sometimes, you know, we don't want to feel what we're feeling. And so we go into attack. Okay. We don't even know what we're feeling. It's so suppressed sometimes because we just don't check in. And you can just simply do a ritual of, well, what's really going on for me? What's really going on for me right now? You know, what do I need? What does my soul need? What does my spirit need? What do I need in relationship? Write it down and then lovingly ask for it. Ask for what you need. You know, yelling, screaming. You know, sometimes it happens, and forgive yourself and apologize. And sometimes you probably just need to stamp it out, cry it out, scream it out alone, and then learning to process the emotion. You're allowed to ask for what you need. You're allowed to express your emotion, but it's how you do it with the other person, not to obliterate them, not to scare them, not to create more angst. Men tend to shut down a lot. Anyone will shut down if you're screaming and yelling at them and blaming them. So it's always a co-creation, isn't it? So I've had to learn a lot about this. I think I would suppress and then get really angry, like so angry, so upset. Just so like I didn't know, because I was never taught. Like my growing up, I really wasn't listened to. I was almost like I was silenced. It was like, don't speak up too much. Don't, like, the children should not be heard. It was kind of like that a lot. And I had a very, very strong father and a very strong mother who I adore, but quite overpowering. And that's another reason why I am quite fierce too, because I really had to, for so long, and there's a softening that you probably noticed in my energy, but I had to fight so long to be heard. But the most important person that we needs to hear us, right, is ourselves. It's the same with visibility. You know, we want to be seen. But we don't take the time to see our own selves, to take the time to know ourselves, to feel into this deep sense of love and presence and respect of self, where your voice, your ability to show up, your ability to speak up, whether it be on live video, whether it be on sales calls, whether it be on webinar, whether it be in relationship, comes from a really deep level of understanding and appreciation and gratitude and forgiveness and like I'm okay with me energy. That's what it is. Perfectionism paralyzes. Perfectionism slows you down. Perfectionism also it's just a self-saboteur, because you're in the vibe and the belief that I'm not enough. So let me make myself better and more, and then I'll allow myself to make more, receive more. It's the same with love. It's the same with money. It's all fucking aligned. Whatever nourishes you, whatever gives you more abundance, more freedom, it's also very aligned. Love, relationship, money, right? So take a deep breath today. It's so beautiful. Like, it's like, well, the surface might be I'm angry with him or her or whatever your situation is, right? So you're so sad at the moment, Jody. Why are you so sad? You let me know. Let me know. If anyone really needs deep emotional support right now and you're not okay, just put up, they'll say I'm not okay, and I'll reach out. Okay. It's okay to not be okay. Like, when you trust that you will move through it, right? You'll move through it. You'll move through it. I'm moving through it. Sometimes you can feel like you're dying. You can feel like it's a death. It's, you know, and what I do is I just go, okay, I know that this will move. I call on my spirit guides. I call on deep love. I call on the divine to support me. I send beautiful love vibes into every single cell of my being. I ask for support when I need it. I go to sleep. I get as much sleep as I possibly can. I woke up this morning at 4 a.m. I'll probably end up getting quite tired later today. I've got quite a lot of energy things that I need to do. There's stuff that I need to get done today. I've got some meetings with team. I've already done like 2 full-on emails today. I've already gone through all this scripting that I have to go through for a project that I'm working on. And I've learned, like, okay, you know, when is enough? You know, when is enough is enough, you know? Like, it's enough. Stop. Replenish. Stop. It's like taking a deep energetic breath and then going back at it the next day or 2 days later. You know, you see a lot of people doing things. You know, you see people like me. I'm a very deliberate, high action person, right? But I do stop and I do pause and I do shut off social media when I need to. You need to understand what you need, and you need to work in the rhythm. Consistency is key. It doesn't have to be hours a day, you know? You can make great money and have great flow from just doing 1 or 2, 3, 4 things every single week for 15 minutes, like just very pointed. Email your list, get on video, craft a new offer, make it fun. Think about the transformation that these people are going to receive. Keep it light. Speak up. Be clear. I'm walking up a hill right now. I'm really dedicated to exercising at the moment and walking because I'm very vain. I don't want to get fat, just kidding, but that's partly true. But honestly, really, it's about making sure that I'm running from my cup runneth over. So I can only do the work I do. I can only work with hundreds of students. I can only be creative and download and attune and use my psychic power and send out prayers to the world and come up with new content and redo all my content and support staff and support, you know, my clients and students and do everything that we do and be a mother and be a partner and be a good friend if I take care of myself. Have to. I've done it the other way. So it's slowing down enough, trusting that all is well. It will pass. We're going to pass through this. It is intense right now. But some of the feelings that you may be feeling are like the death, rebirth cycle. So breathe into it. Be patient, be loving, be kind to yourself. Okay? I'm sending you guys so much love. A million blessings. Kisses.